Watch them Cowboys! Yeah! Never lose sight of the magic of this football team. Yeah! Here we go!
I'm all in.
Cowboys fans, it's your host Slater here. If you bleed silver and blue and you want honest talk, no filters, you're in the right place. Leave a comment, like, subscribe, and enjoy the video. One was Javonte Williams getting that extension. And we'll kind of start off there. So Javonte Williams, obviously the hometown hero that Dallas picked up and signed. He is getting a $24 million deal, 3 years, $16 million guaranteed, and a $6 million signing bonus. Obviously, super well-deserved. Javonte Williams provided something in the offense last year that we hadn't had really in the past 3 years before that. Had a little bit of it with Pollard, but really not kind of like that 3-down trucking horseback that can really be a game wrecker, game changer. Somebody at the goal line that you can expect to get in that end zone. Not since we really had that 2016 to 2018 Zeke kind of thing kind of going. But I'm Slater. That's Mike. And Mike, I mean, how you feeling about this Javonte Williams extension? Obviously, you've been advocating for it, so I know you're out of kazoots right now about it. Super happy about it.
Yeah, I mean, you said it. So it's something I expected was going to happen. I'm glad it happened. You know, it was two sides of the coin with this. It was, do you go out and try to do the same thing again by finding a back who's not making a ton of money? He's on a team that he may not have tenure on, or they may be looking to move on with a draft pick or anything like that, and try to hit the magic lottery again like we did with Javonte Williams this year? Or do you just pay him his value and solidify him for the next few years? I'm always, of the mind that what you have, if it works now, there's no reason to try to go out and get an unknown quantity that you don't know if it's going to produce the way you want it to produce. And Javonte Williams is producing. So you pay him.
Yeah.
So we got 3 years, $24 million. I think you said $6 million was the signing bonus, and it guarantees him $6 million.
Yep.
It's a little pricey, but I'm okay with it because I know that he's going to be consistent, and he's a talented back, and he's got a good head on his shoulders as far as the type of a person and player he is and what he brings to the team as a leader on the field. He made a statement last year that he now feels, once again, as a football player, he is the best player on the field at any given time. And whether that's true or not doesn't matter. The mentality of it is what he needs to have and the kind of players we want on the Dallas Cowboys. So a good signing. It's good momentum. Glad it's done, and we don't have to worry about that. And all that leaves is George Pickens.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I was going to bring up. Like, every Cowboys fan should be really happy right now about getting this extension done. Not only because, one, you're not, trying to pedal paddle with, if Rico Dowdle's going to come back or something, which he could as RB2. But, you're not playing this game with who's going to be our starting running back. We played that game last year, and there was a lot of questions going into training camp, preseason, even into the first week of the season. People were saying, do we go, when it came to cut time in the preseason, do we go Javonte Williams, Miles Sanders, and Phil Maffa and Jadon Blue, kind of thing? Or do you go all rookies, right? That was almost like a serious consideration. No one knew what Javonte Williams was going to bring coming off the injury, coming from Denver and all that, out of that Sean Payne scheme. And he comes to Dallas and just was a game wrecker, broke a lot of long runs, was able to stay consistent and really manage the game as a single running back. Outside of, when we talk about Malik Davis, Jadon Blues, and Miles Sanders coming in for like 3 or 4 carries a game just to kind of be like a relief back. So super excited to have that done. It's really give credit to the front office. We don't give them credit a lot because they really don't do moves like this or really get ahead of the game and get somebody signed. But they're working ahead this offseason. Even with the DC hire, which we'll get into, obviously, and then Javonte Williams now is the big challenge, right? Like you just said, George Pickens is going to be the challenge, and we've talked about it over and over, and we can sound like a broken record, but if they can get that one done, I'd be really impressed with what the front office has been able to do before the free agency / draft kind of timeline.
Yeah, I agree. I'm impressed for the most part with what they've done with the DC coaching hunt, and then the caliber of coaching that they've brought in on the defensive side, and then seeing them, as we'll get into some of these other topics, they've moved on from some players and are potentially moving on from some that were problematic all year long. And now they've signed, their premier running back, and we still have talent in depth behind him as well. We've got Malik Davis is still around. We've still got Izzy Abanaconda in the background there as well. And, that's a lot to have. And of course, Jadon Blue is still around. So good depth for the running back position. And we need that same attention, directed towards George Pickens and then our linebacking core, as we'll talk about here momentarily.
Yeah, and I'll make one last comment before we kind of transition over to Logan Wilson. But that's the focus for the running back group now, is just find that RB2, whether it's already in the facility or going to get, somebody out in the free agency or later in the draft.
Do you think it's already on the roster, or do you think they're gonna do much more? I'll give you my opinion, but what's yours?
I think they have it on the roster. I mean, for the scheme that we are running with under Schottenheimer and with the amount of carries that we saw RB2 get all year, I think you have it on the roster. I don't think you need to go out there and go get this crazy RB2. I mean, if they're only getting 4 to 5 carries, you're only getting an RB2 just in case something happens to Javonte, right? Knock on wood here. But the only reason you need a good RB2 is for that 4 to 5 carries. So if you're getting a guy for vet minimum, super cheap, like a Malik Davis of the world, Jadon Blue on his rookie contract, or anybody else to just come in to do the 4 to 5 carries, and they can pass block and they can do it, the fundamentals right, then they're the guy.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. You can afford to pay, Javonte Williams $8 million a year, essentially.
Yeah.
Because you don't need 2 premier backs.
Yeah.
And then by the time he's at the end of his contract, Jadon Blue may be potentially where he's supposed to be, so. And Malik Davis proved that he can handle his own as well. So at worst case scenario, you've got Malik and Jadon Blue in the backfield if something were to happen with Javonte. And then I still have a lot of faith in Abanaconda. I mean, I really think that he'd be capable behind this line and with this scheme. So I'm as secure as I can be on the running back situation. The offense, for that matter, but yeah.